So I belong to a farmer area, a farmer family background. So my native place is in Bihar. So whenever I visited to my grandfather place, I always went to the farm area along with him. I would like to. I always like to do some farming along with him. I would like to do. I would like to do cultivating some crops, and whenever I visited, it comes with a good feeling, good vibes. Whenever we see our crops is growing, so I'm a kind of a person who always eager to implant new plantations and new gardens or something like that. This is all I've mixed my mind.
No, that is quite less.
How much? 1 minute? Not
Yeah,
sure.
actually, I had started the timer earlier, but now the timer is saying 2 minutes. That means you have spoken very less for this particular point. This time, I think it's just 1 minute that you have spoken for, not more than that.
I'm not taking the notes within a one
It's
minute.
not a proper story that it's coming out to be. The question is describe a thing you like to do with an elderly person. So you like to do, not something you would like to do, right? You have to answer in simple present. You like to do with an elderly person in your family. You should say what is it, how often you do it, and explain why you like it. It can be simple thing as conversing. It can even be talking with your grandfather or talking with your mother, talking with your grandmother, right? And whatever you can discuss. So you said that I want to do farming, right? So if I come to this, first of all, when you started out in the beginning, you said I want to do with my grandfathers. So again wo plural wala mistake came out. But then when you started for the second time, one mistake that came repeatedly was native. It is not native, native. So small sound. And then whenever I visit or visited to my name, visit के बाद कभी भी to नहीं आएगा. Whenever I visit my native place, I I would like to spend some quality time with my ancestors' family or with my grandfather or with my grandparents, because I go there rarely, or I go there once in a blue moon. And then you can probably talk about, since I come from a farmer's background, from a humble background of farmers. तो humble background भी एक तरह का idiomatic expression है. What I would like to do with my grandfather is something that a farmer would do, right? And he is best in that work, which is cultivating crops. Well, I don't really know an ABC of doing such a thing, because I've always been an engineer. No, I have become an engineer, and I have never really tried my hand with farming or something like that. But I definitely, but ये भी change हो गया ना. What you really want to say is something that you often do, जो आप करते हो, right? How often you do it. तो आप ये कह सकते हो, what I often do is I visit my native place, and I do some cultivation, and I take care of the crops. I do some tilling with my grandfather. I usually go at the time of harvest season. So we both, cut. How do you do that? Harvesting crop season, and I think this is the best time of the year to visit my ancestral village, right? We spend hours in the field. Uh, Sometimes we just laze around in the open field. Sometimes we sit under a tree and have long discussions. And this is something that gives me a lot of joy. Where is the question? Yeah. And why you like it? Sometimes my grandfather shares the life secrets, and sometimes he narrates his old age stories or his childhood stories to me, and I always get inspired from listening to such beautiful stories